So at any rate, these companies willfully infringed on every living artist's intellectual property rights. That happened. It's irrefutable. They wouldn't even argue that, especially behind closed doors. And sadly, many of the people that made these technologies know nothing of the joys of making music. So they're not musicians. So all of that is true, right? And we can use that as kind of a frame. And so many people will say, I remember talking about going way back, playing around with the earliest Google notebooks of diffusion. This is kind of pre-COVID, visual diffusion, taking, basically like a noise and then kind of dithering out images from it and seeing these things and you'd say, oh God, the fidelity's so bad. And then, leap forward to, we have things like Grok and Midjourney and these kind of things. Same thing with music. I mean, this is in such its infancy. We're like 2 years into this arc. And so I kind of think of it as like Nintendo 64 or Atari 2600 Pong. It's like, we're just in the infancy of this. Musicians saying, oh, it sounds like bad MP3s. And like, yeah, give it 6 months, right? So at any rate, all of these things being said, we now live in a world where this is possible. And so what does that mean for musicians? And I want to kind of go back to your question because it's a very important question is why don't we just say no, right? Is because we can't. We can't. And that was by design for sure.
Really?
Yes, absolutely. So, many of these companies, their first teams that they hired were legal teams. So, they were hiring, 6- and 7-figure lawyers as their kind of founding team, not just developers. And so baked into their business model was to speed run the music industry and intellectual property rights holders, to have a war chest where they could effectively pull certain artists into the fray to say, hey, it's a cool thing, look at this shiny, cool new thing. And not to say these things aren't cool, and then to litigate their way to success. So to just outrun it with money, basically, right? And it's really shady, a really shitty thing to do, honestly. If Spotify had just said $10 a month, that's what it's going to cost, they could have paid really great streaming royalties to everyone, but instead, they went pre-IPO to all the record labels and said, hey, what if we do this deal for this special new thing that no one's heard of and we'll give you IPO shares? And none of that trickles down to the artists. It's a similar kind of thing, but here they even lopped out the intellectual property rights holders